Now we move on to an important panel discussion, country-wise sesame crop review and outlook. To moderate the panel, I invite Mr. Sandeep Bhura, Home India Trading. Joining him in the panel are Mr. Sebastian Andrew, Vink Corporation. He would also give a talk about Nigeria. Thank you. Mr. Alok Bhargava, Praramb Agri Trading. He would share his perspective on Burkina. Mr. Assefa Yohannes, EPOSEA. He would discuss about Ethiopia. Mr. Mahesh Raja Manglani, Mast Qalander Group, will share his perspective on Pakistan crop. Mr. Jay Chandarana, Dhaval Agri, would talk about what's happening in India. Mr. Marcelo Eduardo Luders, Correpar, would talk about Brazil. Mr. Jahid Nagarwala, Alfa Group, would talk about Mozambique crop. Ms. Hashin would talk about what's happening in China. She represents CFNA. With this, we have a very, very impressive list of panelists to take us through various important origins. Unfortunately, Mr. Gailey could not make it. He was supposed to talk on Sudan because of an emergency meeting with the minister. I hope that when somebody from the audience perhaps could give some clues about Sudan, but I leave it that particular decision to call somebody to the moderator. With this introduction, I leave the session in the hands of Mr. Sandeep Bhura, the moderator of the session. Over to you, Mr. Sandeep.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. Good morning and good evening to people joining from different parts of the world.
Mr. Sandeep, please go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Tough times for all of us. COVID situation, new things that has come, for our generation is webinar, pandemic, positive is the new negative. I mean, so many new things being thrown at us. So we'll carry this session forward and look into the different origins that we have, and try to look into Africa, Indian continent, even some of the South American origins. So for this, I would like to invite, first of all, I think it is Mr. Sebastian from Vink to start with his presentation on Nigeria.
Mr. Sandeep, you can stop the preview. That's why you are hearing the voice with a delay. So that's why, there is, you are hearing double voice actually. You stop the preview while I request Mr. Sebastian to continue. Please go. Mr. Sebastian? We can see your presentation, sir. Make it full screen and go ahead, sir. Perfect.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, but please be a little louder, Sebastian.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all who are connected from different parts of the world. I would like to thank you, the organizers, to organizing a wonderful opportunity to bring all the people in one platform, even though we are sitting from different parts of the world.
We can't hear the voice.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Sebi, it's really low. You need to be a little louder, or if you can come closer to the speaker.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, I mean, still it's quite low. Do you have a microphone which you can use?
Hello. Is it audible now?
Yes. Okay, carry on. We'll just be a little louder.
I will go through these topics here. See, Nigerian crop is increasing year after year for the last 1 decade, and we can see that Last year also is not an exception. There's a considerable jump in quantity of exports happened through Nigeria. When we talk about Nigerian exports, it is a mix of Nigeria, Niger, and also Chad exports going through the Nigerian ports. So maybe the numbers of different people might be different. So as for our team, this is the number which we have. The acceptance of Nigerian sesame seed is increasing every year who use the sesame seed for their produce. And that's the reason we are seeing significant increase in the production of Nigerian sesame seed. And I accept the same thing will continue in the coming years. Another point is there's an increased acceptance of Nigerian produce in the value-added space, mainly the hull. And Nigeria already started even doing crushing the sesame oil and making tahina as well. Just to add with this, as a group, the TGI group, we are also engaged in, we are also already running the trial runs of organic sesame seed from Nigeria. We have already done one trial. Most likely in 1-2 years' time, Nigeria will be able to export certified organic sesame seed out of Nigeria.
Okay.
When we move to the current season, everything, even though it's a COVID season, people were expecting that there will be difficulties, the crop might be less, and there is a restriction in the country for people movement within the states. Even though the sowing of Nigeria went very well, and the farmers are expected a better crop than last season. But things went wrong, the very unexpected heavy rain and the floods hit the Nigeria during the months. This has affected many crops in Nigeria, and sesame seed is one of the crops. It has been affected many places, but the significant impact has happened in a state called Jigawa, which cultivate huge quantity of sesame seed. So this has impacted the overall the crop size of this year. The exact number is very difficult to predict now, but we feel that the numbers will be in the range of 300,000 plus minus. Then coming to challenges, yeah, we all know every country is under the challenges faced by the COVID. Nigeria is no exception. Because of COVID, there's a lot of internal transports are stopped. The port function has been cut down. The government offices. So overall, the COVID has impacts on the total business and the export happening from Nigeria. As I already explained, the rains and floods also has the impact. Then the third one, which happened on October, November, is the local, the Nigerian people have requested to disband the SARS. And this movement has went wild, and it has caused many people's life, and it has been, more than 45 days. It has impacted the overall exports and business, and cargo movements. Everything has been standstill for more than 45 days in Nigeria due to this. Coming to the next point is the port congestion. We all know Nigerian port congestion. It has not improved in the last many years, and all those things is adding more trouble to the port congestions. As Sanjeev was rightly mentioning, that many shipping lines are also stopped operating from different terminals in Nigeria. The last challenge which happened last month was there's a change in the export procedures in Nigeria, which has stopped all the cargoes moving out. The cargoes which have already moved inside the port was also asked to stop export to finish the procedure and then get exported. These challenges are bringing the Nigerian export quantity slow down, and the exports are not happening the way it has to happen. This will impact the total cargo get exported out of Nigeria. With this, I call my presentation closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sebastian. And thanks for adhering to the time limit because it's a webinar. We need to adhere to the time limit, please. Next, we have Mr. Alok from Praramb Agri presenting for Burkina Faso.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This first of all, just a congratulations to Fortel Group and Sesame.info for organizing a conference where everybody needs it. There is a confusion and there is a lot of things going on in Sesame Seed. And I wish all the very best to all the listeners who are listening to the presentation at this time. What I have covered in this is a glance of 2020 a little bit, and Burkina, and obviously a little bit of current rates and then future scenario. Well, even after the COVID, the COVID is still going on, and the economy is still is struggling to recover. That's what we are seeing for everywhere, and life after lockdown still remains the same. Specifically in reference to Sesame Seed, we are still struggling and discussing China's stock position, which we have been doing since March. Then the trade wars, the China backlash is still going on. Currency, still we are seeing a lot of fluctuation in that. Logistic issue for Nigeria, specifically for Nigeria, is never ending. And the confusion for the realistic demand, especially for China and with reference to China and India, is still going on. Now, what has happened in Burkina? Burkina season has started, I must say, the 2 weeks back, almost 2 weeks from now. And the last year crop was about 180,000 ton. This year, the crop is almost same. And if I combine all Burkina, Mali, Togo, Senegal, all the neighboring country, I see the range of 180 to 220,000 metric ton of the total crop. Burkina DFT status is still not finalized. I think last year also we were discussing the same, but it is still going on. The exact figure for this year crop is very difficult to grasp. The crop has just started, and we feel it will take time for the actual figure to come back. But the overall situation, it seems it will be same as what we have seen the crop in the last years. Nigeria, I'm not discussing too much, except that in the Burkina, the crop did started in November. We have Putinga region, the Fada region, and the Bobo region, where the mix mostly comes, and whitish mostly comes from Fada and Putinga region. The season has started, and we are seeing not the full-fledged arrival, but yes, the arrivals have started to bring in. This year, initial quality, if I comment on the initial quality, I would say that the whitish quality is better than what we have seen in the last year. Last year was very little of white, which came actually to the market. But this year we have seen, yes, there is seems to be good quality of whitish coming into the market, and mixed quality is always the same. There is not much difference going on there. And as far as some of the demands, which I will just comment on the situation which is relating to the Burkina, I will see China. I would say the stock level people are claiming to the level of 140K. My estimate, it should be between 120K. If you look at the last 2 months and 3 months data, the outgoing was definitely more than what was incoming. And with the Nigerian situation going on, the next December and January arrivals should not be too much, because the Nigeria, we have 4 weeks of delay when they change the procedure for the CBN, change the procedure for NXPs and all. So we have seen too much delay from the Nigerian shipment, though the shipment has started now, but still the situation remains very slow. and it is going as per the new procedures. And then we have seen in the price levels, we have seen there was the impact of local crop failure in China, and that was one of the reason where we have seen the rally of 900 and from 900 price to rally from $950 to today's level of for if I talk about Burkina or Togo, it is through the level of 1400 for whitish and maybe $50 less for the mix. And Turkey, we have seen they are more interested in Burkina whitish than mix, but we have not seen much demand coming from Turkey at these levels. Maybe at slightly less level we could see. Japan, as usual, is all the 5 origins, so they do buy Burkina, but not the level which is going on right now. Then, as far as the future direction of concern, I still feel that it all depends what the same situation of the market. Still we are not sure if the Sudan crop, how will be the Sudan crop situation, which is one of the major impact. India, we have more or less clear on the situation that their import requirements are not so much and not to this level. Maybe 1100 and 1150 they could be buyer, but not at the level of 1250 plus or 1350 plus. And still we at the destination we are observing the liquidation issues are still going on, mostly because of the COVID situation. Supply from Africa, yes, we are seeing some shortage or short crop in Nigeria, but the Burkina is almost same. So basically, again, the situation will go back to Sudan, or how it will go. As far as currency situations is concerned, we have observed that Chinese currency has moved, has appreciated from 6.7 to almost 6.55. And this, of course, is changing the costing everywhere. And even Assefa is appreciating in Burkina, which is making the cost as always higher, even though the farmers are not reducing the price. And lastly, the challenge which could affect the Simsim market is basically the management of logistics, which is really a problem in as far as Nigeria and Sudan are concerned. This is what I have from Burkina side. Thank you.
Mr. Assefa, can you hear me, please? You're next presenting for Ethiopia. You need to unmute yourself, please.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I have difficulties with my laptop. I'm trying to communicate you with my mobile.
Okay, perfect. So then who can help us with the slides for Mr. Assefa?
My slide, my presentation is with you. Can you put my slide?
1 second. Yes, Mr. Assefa, it's on, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for the technical issues here. I want to congratulate the organizers who are able to organize this big webinar conference. And I want to congratulate who are able to gather more than 600 participants in this conference. I think it's my first time to see big speakers who are attending to make their speech. As you see in my slide, I'm going to present on Ethiopian current I think it's unseeable.
Oh, we can see the slides. You can move it one by one.
Yeah, but it's not seeable for me.
Yeah, because I think you are
okay.
Looking from the phone. Yeah, this is the first page for.
Yeah, I have to see from my laptop. Okay. As far as the direction of the organizers, I have proper only 3 slides. The first one is focusing on Ethiopian sesame of 2019. The estimated sesame production volume and the supply, that means including the carryover of 2018, it was totally 218,000 tons, which this includes 20,000 carryover of 2018. And a total of 2013 tons is exported, and 4,000 tons is processed. New companies who are involved in production of Tanya, 1 or 2 companies, and there are also 2 to 3 companies who are involved in hulling processing. So it's not a big industry in our country. Value addition, almost 3 to 4 companies are only involved. So only 4,000 tons were processed for hulled sesame production in Tanya. The beginning stock in 2020 was about 20,000 tons. And the second one, as for your direction, is to give you some highlight about the sesame cultivation of 2020. To be honest with you, this year we had some shortage of cultivation because of different reasons. This year only 600,000 hectares of land is covered by sesame. In some growing areas, especially in Tigray and Amhara, which are predominantly known for their sesame production, some farmers switch to production of other crops for the sake of food self-sufficiency. They switch to sorghum, they switch to other products. And on the other hand, in some regions like Benishangul, Oromia, and South region, there is slight increment of area coverage. And there is also a new region that comes to be that becomes to be a sesame producing region in Ethiopia. That is the Somali region of the Ethiopian, not the Mogadishu Somali, but our Somali region start to produce sesame this year for the first time. The weather condition was good. At the beginning of the plowing parade, there was excessive rainfall, but gradually it became stable and become very conducive for sesame production. Based on our survey, our association usually conducts survey every year. We expect 250 to 260,000 of tons with good quality. And to give you some challenges that we are facing, especially with the impact of COVID, most sesame production is based on sesame on small scale. We don't have that much commercial farmers, mechanizing farms for sesame production. So the shortage of manpower for cultivation for harvest was not as much significant because most of the farmers use their family labor. So shortage of labor was not a big problem at the time. But when there are few commercial farmers, they may face some shortage of manpower during harvesting, which causes them for pre-harvest loss. And the other challenge that we were facing 2019, 2020 was default from the buyer side. The last 3, 4, 5 years, for many years, our exporters were defaulting. There was a severe problem of default from our side. But this year, because of the new directives issued by Ministry of Trade and Industry, which tries to stabilize the domestic market, the commodity exchange market, to be in line with the international market. So the chance of defaulting by the exporters become very minimum. Unfortunately, this year there was a big, there was a big default. There was a big number of defaults from the buyer side. Even some defaults when the cargo arrived in the port, buyers were not willing to accept the cargo. This year, the good opportunity that we are getting is government has issued a new incentive of duty-free for agricultural machineries. So some investors are coming to invest in sesame production, especially in Somali region, because importing agricultural machinery become duty-free. And as I already mentioned, government has already issued a new contract registration and administration directive which help to stabilize our domestic market, especially the commodity exchange market. Thank you very much. If you have any question, I'll be here to explain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Assefa. Thank you so much. Next, we have Mr. Mahesh from Mast Qalander to present on Pakistan sesame. Mr. Mahesh, over to you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Are we able to see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to present on Second World Sesame Convention 2020. And thank you, Mr. Sandeep. I would start with 2019 crop and market sesame outlook. In 2019, the production was quite low, which was around 80,000 tons. Most of the crop in Pakistan is produced in Punjab. Punjab produced two kind of quality, which is known as farmy and hybrid sesame seed. Last year, the yield was quite low, which was around 480 kilogram, around 12 months, whereas Sindh produced only 30% of the crop. In Sindh, we produce only two kind of qualities, which is mixed. It is harvested in the month of November, whereas white, which is known as Sindh natural white sesame seed, with the bold and bigger seeds, that's harvested in the month of September and October. The yield was low last year as well. Total exports in 2019 were around 22,000 because there was no trade with India, and in 2019 there was no FTA with China. The border trade usually is around like 20,000 to 25,000 tons. Local consumption is increased always in the time of winters, which is around 32,000 to 35,000. And the stock was more or less nothing, around 2,000 only. Whereas in 2020, the crop size and acreage is quite high. It's around 120,000 tons. Most of the crop again this year is expected to be from Punjab, around 85% of the crop, whereas only very small crop from Sindh. Yield again from Sindh is very low this year, but in Punjab the yield is around 16 months, which is equal to 640 kg per acre. Major harvesting periods in Pakistan starts from end of August and ends till October. In the month of August, late August and starting of September, almost 10 to 15% crop was damaged in Punjab mostly. And because of 48 hours of continuous rain, the crop was total loss, around 15%. Carry forward was 2,000 tons, which is nothing. And up till now, including New Year crop, current crop export, which is around 14,000. And the border trade so far have been around very small, which is 5,000. And gradually in winters, many border countries will be buying from Pakistan because of the winters. And so far it is around 5,000 tons. Local consumption in summer is quite low, which is around 100 tons per day. But in winters, which will increase around 200, 250 tons per day. Mostly locally, the sesame is used in bakery items, in halwa, biscuits, and in winters, it goes to cattle feed as well. They do oil crushing and they provide it to cattle like buffaloes and cows. Impact of COVID government policy changes in Pakistan was actually in 2019 there was an FTA agreement with China and Pakistan. So around 313 items, which includes sesame seed as well, were duty free with Pakistan and Chinese government. So again, China is a new market for Pakistani exporters, and so far the quality which is exported to China, including Farmi, hybrid, and Sindh, it is accepted by Chinese, especially hybrid and Sindh variety. And the fast rotation of this cycle from signing from the time of the signing agreement till the execution, it is very fast. The transit time is around 14 to 16 days. So the rotation is very fast of complete cycle. Due to COVID in Pakistan especially, there were not many problems. The logistic was smooth, the transportation was okay, and the export business was encouraged by the government of Pakistan because agri-food business and facilities were not closed by any means. Only SOPs were followed. Strict SOPs was followed actually in Pakistan, but again, by the grace of God, everything was smooth. We, as a Pakistani, uh, successfully beat first wave of Corona. Availability of manpower in harvesting at the time of seeding was also not disturbed. Things were very smooth. However, freights have increased since last month. The availability of container is quite low and vessels are skipping. At the moment, we have China, Taiwan, Japan, and Middle East, and couple of countries from Far East Asia as main buyers. It's been 2 years. There have been no trade with India because India was one of the major market for Pakistan, and every year there was huge business. But it's been 2 years, Pakistan and India cannot trade. But again, China has opened its door for Pakistani exporters. So the quantity being exported every month is quite better and it's increasing. We hope the exports this year will increase as well. And the availability again of containers and vessels is quite low, but the freight have increased. The supply chain was again not disturbed in Pakistan. So we as an export in Pakistan, we believe the export will increase this year. The crop is quite big as compared to last year, obviously not compared to other countries, and the exports will increase again. The quality of seed is quite better. The color is better. The prices ranging around started from $1,000, and today we see price around $1,250 to $1,300. Again, it depends on the market. If you are competitive with African origin, so the Chinese buyer and other countries will definitely import. So that's it. And I'm honored to be part of such great conference, and I congratulate Fortail and Sesame Convention for successful conference, and looking forward everyone to see you at the next event physically. Thank you.
Next to present, we have Mr. Jay Chandarana, who will be giving us details about Indian crop scenario. Over to you, Jay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I would like to first take the opportunity to congratulate the organizers. I think it has been overall, from the first look, it has been a very interesting conference. I would like to present today on Indian sesame crop review and outlook. I am Jay Chandarana. I represent Dhaval Agri Exports. Just a small disclaimer. Of course, these are future events, so please use your interpretation properly before doing any before taking any business decisions. This is overall the balance sheet of 2019 and 20. So what I have done is I have tried to collate the data from October 2019 to September 2020, as that is the harvest season. So overall, I have considered the figure for this period. The carryover from 2019, as per our estimation, is around 25,000 tons. The winter crop, that is October 2019 crop, estimate is around 240. The summer crop, which comes in Gujarat, which is the single skin, this is the only one that I've added for, as because we are discussing the edible grade balance sheet. So 100,000 tons was the summer crop which came. Overall exports during October to September were 293,000 tons from India, and imports during the same period were 148,000 tons. The processing loss I am estimating for the hulling to be at around 30,000 tons. The local consumption estimated at 150, which gives us a carryover for 2020, that is the end of September 2020, at around 40,000 tons. The winter crop I will discuss state by state. Overall, Gujarat was heavily affected due to rains, as Sanjeev also pointed out. The crop was affected badly. Only 40% of the area sown was actually harvested. We have estimate of 125,000 tons from Gujarat. Madhya Pradesh, the crop situation was normal. The rainfall was sufficient, and 89,000 tons is our estimate from Madhya Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is rains were less than requirement. Yields were affected because of this, and the estimate for UP is 78,000 tons. Rajasthan also the crop situation was normal. There was some anomaly that West Rajasthan received more rains, East Rajasthan received less rains. So there was some effect in some pockets. Overall, 98,000 tons is what we estimate from Rajasthan. Other states put together is around 15,000 tons. So total our estimate for the winter crop, which was harvested in September and October of 2020, is 305,000 tons. Overall acreage, we are looking at stable acreage from last 4-5 years now. Around 13 lakh hectares is what India has been sowing for the winter crop. Weather is actually has become the main driver for the crop size. If we see a favorable rains, we can see whether we can see the crop increasing to 400,000 easily. If it's an okay year like this year, 300,000 is the average crop, and the last 2 years we were at 175 to 50 kind of a crop because of heavy rains in across all regions. Pest and disease is overall not a major impact. There might be impact in certain areas, but overall impact is not sizable. Overall quality this year was okay, similar to last year. Only the main thing we see a differentiating factor is the seed size is a little smaller in comparison to the 2019 crop. Also, the starting arrivals in Gujarat were mostly rain damaged because of the heavy rains which came the crop. This is the summer crop. Of course, it's too early to give out any numbers, but overall water availability is good. Prices are remunerative. So there is no reason for the crop not to be bigger than last season. And we have to watch out for developments in the next 3-4 months though. Prices of peanuts, which is the alternate crop for sesame in the summer, also the prices are good. So we will have to have new areas to be developed in case there has to be a substantial increase in crop size. Of course, no presentation in this time is incomplete without the impact of COVID. Even India, there was an impact. On absolute demand, I think the demand from the quick service restaurant industry and the tourism related segments has been impacted. But the edible oil segment, the demand appears to be more than pre-COVID levels. Overall, that has negated any impact. I think overall, in the April to September period, we are looking at maybe 5-10% overall decrease in demand due to this reason. COVID has resulted in a lot of demand uncertainty because there are sudden lockdowns in the US, in Far East geographies also, and across Europe. So that is leading to affecting of buyer forecasts, and most of them are buying hand to mouth right now. I am talking about the finished product buyers, and they are asking for prompt shipments. Container availability is a major issue right now from India, because there has been a mismatch in import and export volumes. So imports to India have decreased significantly, while exports are stable, maybe a little bit higher. So there has been a sudden shortage in containers due to this, and the lead times have increased by 1 to 2 weeks, and freights have increased by 100% to 150%. So this is having some impact on the exporters. Government policy. Indian government is right now actually focusing on pandemic and food distribution to the poor because of COVID. There has been less focus on the trade and exports, which has resulted in slower refunds of tax and incentives, which has led to a liquidity crunch for Indian exporters. Also, ETO has been a recent issue which the sesame industry has come across. Some consignments of Indian sesame were rejected in the EU because of this. This has resulted in suspension of exports. So Indian side has suspended exports to the EU. because we want more clarity on the testing methods. And of course, we want harmonization of sampling and testing in India and the EU. So the exporters are right now afraid to ship to the EU because the results are not the same. Results being okay here, in the EU they are not. In here they are not okay, in the EU they are okay. So such things are impacting the decision making. But the good part is that there has been continuous dialogue between the Indian authorities and the EU authorities, and we are expecting a solution to come to this issue in the coming 2 or 3 weeks. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, I am available. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Next, we'll have Mr. Jahid presenting on the Mozambique sesame scenario. Mr. Jahid.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes, yes. Perfect.
Hello.
Yes, yes. We can hear you. Please go on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I will congratulate. I'm congratulating this conventions. That's really good task for them, especially this in pandemic situations. Today, I'm representing my group, Alfa Group, Gulf Holding, grassroots level exporters, processor exporters from agri-land, Mozambique, Sudan, Tanzania, and Senegal. We are on this operation since past 15 years. Our African operations beginning in 2005. Today, I'm going to give you some light on sesame export from Mozambique. The seasonal already finished there. But we can give you a little bit light from our local operations source data. This year, 2020, from Mozambique, had been exported 85,000 tons to 90,000 tons to various countries. Among of these volumes, it was 55 to 60,000 tons exported from North Zone Port Nacala and 25,000 to 30,000 exported from Central Port Beira. Mozambique cargo mostly trading to China, Turkey, and India. If we talk about the pricings, Mozambique price in the month of May, it was started from USD 1,300 P&F level, and it was gone down near about 990 level in the mid of the crop, which was really a big fall. And when our crop was near to finish in the month of August, September, the price was till $1,100 behind the positive support from China. This year, one remarkable fact we noted that when Tanzanian price was on free falling level, at the same time, Mozambican sesame price, we maintained price consistency for certain times of periods. Even we noted many Mozambican sesame trade has booked on same level as South Tanzanian price, which is a really good thing for Mozambique. Another thing we also noted that this year we have received very good buying support from Indian buyers. Normally, Mozambique they don't buy. India don't buy from Mozambique, but low price. That was very good. We received very good buying from Mozambique, and that was the turning point for our falling market. So far, India booked near about 6,000 to 8,000 tons from Mozambique. It is a quite notable volume in compare of past few years. Overall season, it was a bumpy for exporters. but still it was a good. But in these good things, we should not forget that there is a challenges. The sesame journey for Mozambique seepers are never been busy, never easy. In past few years, it's our experience. Everywhere there is a lot of challenges. If we talk about the challenges during the crop, it was extreme fear of COVID-19. Also, it was emergency declared by government. They also prohibited the gatherings in small towns for traders, for the farmers. So for farmers especially, it was difficult to go outside and hand over their cargoes. That was also making extra pressures on exporters to collect the cargo from the bush areas. Raw bush cargo quality was extremely poor. It was mixed with sands and other admixtures. And the level of the mixing was really uncertain from area to area, which was increasing the cleaning loss and time consuming for the exporters. The local transport was really on higher shortage, and the local transport price was really expensive in compare of the last years. Local banks, as usual, shortage of the local currency, especially in the bush areas. Security problems always are there since long time span. Even one of our warehouse was robbed in middle of the city during the sesame crop. Port Nakala situations are critically bad as usual. They are working under some maintenance works. They have own problems. That's really it's not helpful for exporters. Heavy shortage of the empty containers and also shortage on the space on the vessels. Except about these difficulties, still there is a local difficulties which is really quite unexplainable. Quite unexplainable. Mozambican exporters are really facing a problems. By this, I will end my presentations. I will just share. I would like to share one graph which will compare the price of 2019-2020 in the sesame. You can get idea. In 2019, the sesame price was started from $1,500, and in the July it was came down, and again it was recovered in the month of September till 1,300 level. And this year in 2020, the price was started in month of the May 1,300. The month of the June it was near about 1,250, and suddenly it get a big fall in the July and touched 990 levels. And again that started recovering in the month of the August, and in September it touched again on $1,100. By this, maybe you can get some idea so how the price was going up and down. By this, I will end my presentations. I would like to give thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Jahid. Next, we'll have Miss He Qin presenting for the Chinese sesame. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hi. Oh,
hello.
See you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to attend the WSC again. Firstly, on behalf of CFNA, I would like to extend my congratulations.
Miss Qin, can you adjust your camera a little down? We can't see your face properly.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to attend the WSC again. Firstly, on behalf of CFNA, I would like to extend my congratulations on the opening of the World Sesame Convention, and thanks also to Mr. Srivastava for inviting me to address the convention. I sincerely wish the convention success. The topic of my speech today is China's sesame seed market situation. Sorry, can I see my PPT? Yes. I think that, yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yes. Yeah, better to return the original.
First, please move. Yeah.
Can you keep the screen to the original state at the beginning? Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's good. Yes, yeah. The topic of my speech today is China's sesame seed market situation. Yes, the total demand for sesame in China is about 1.3 to 1.4 million metric tons. This included 60% for crushing usage, about 40% for edible and other usage. Of the total demand, about 800 to 900,000 metric tons were imported directly, and about 100 and 150 metric tons through border trade. You can see China's sesame seed highly depended on international market supply. In spite of this, China, as a traditional sesame producing country, can still produce about 400,000 metric tons of sesame per year. We have these three traditional sesame producing provinces located in the central part of China. They are Henan, Hubei, Anhui, providing about 70 to 80% of Chinese sesame seed. Next, let's look at the Chinese sesame seed and the production. Since the beginning of this century, the planting areas of Chinese sesame seed has been gradually reduced due to serious problems such as the labor shortage and an increasing production cost in the countryside. But the productivity has been rising, with yield per hectare from about 1 metric ton per hectare of 2001 up to nearly 1.5 metric ton per hectare of 2019. Besides, under the strong support of the local government in the major sesame producing areas, and also the better income for sesame seed, Chinese farmers had more interest in planting sesame. So we can see Chinese sesame planting areas and production have been recovering significantly since 2017, when our planting areas hit a historical low. This year, it was estimated that we had an increase of about 15% of planting areas over the previous year. However, the final production for new crop was very bad because of much rain damage during growing period. It was estimated to be reduced by about 40 to 50% over the previous year. That was about 200,000 metric tons of reduction, at least, I think. This is more serious than we expected at the beginning. Next. Let's look at the China annual sesame imports and prices. Generally speaking, the China sesame imports had a rapid growth in recent 10 years. Yes, our sesame import market is very huge and also frequently fluctuating. I believe that many of us remember the crazy roller coaster ride we went through during 2013 to 2016, resulting from 2 consecutive years of production cuts. During the period, our import volume doubled, while price fluctuated wildly by more than $1,000 per metric ton. Until 2017, China's sesame import market was in a state of self-correction, with imports shrunk and price depressed. Since 2017, China's sesame imports have been gradually recovering, but price in our domestic market has been volatile. Next, please. This is China's sesame imports and price for the same period from January to October in history. In the same period of recent 6 years, the volume of China's sesame import varied every year. The imports of nearly 900,000 metric tons from January to October this year is almost close to the volume of imports for the whole year of 2016, in which year our sesame import hit historic high. By the end of this year, China's sesame imports are expected to reach 1 million to 105 million metric tons, which will break the historic high of 330,000 metric tons of 2016. Next, please. This is the main sesame supply range change to China by origin. I think the top five, moment please. The top 7 African sesame producing countries supplied over 90% of China's sesame imports. Most of them keep increasing or stable supply to China these years, except for Ethiopia and Sudan, which supply to China showed a downward trend, even though Sudan is still the largest sesame supply to China. Another hope such situation for Ethiopia and Sudan is more of a break than a trend. Next, please. This is sesame supply to China by origin from January to October to become the largest sesame supply to China again. Except the price of Ethiopian sesame seed was still the highest as always. Price gap between countries tended to narrow further. It is a little interesting. Next, please. This is a customs clearance and for the imported sesame in Chinese main ports. We can see the more and more sesame for imported sesame for customs clearance in Qingdao port. Last year we have 650,000 metric tons loaded in Qingdao port. This year, I think more than 700,000 metric tons will be cleared for customers by the end of this year. So Qingdao is absolutely the sesame seeds distribution center. Next, please. This is monthly stock and price change for imported sesame in Chinese main ports. Stock in the main ports, including Tianjin and Qingdao, is always changing throughout the year. We are always concerned about it because it can affect our domestic sales prices directly most of the time. Basically, the higher stock, the cheaper price, vice versa. The problem we are facing now is that the overall level of the stock in the ports have been increasing year by year. By the end of this year, the monthly stock of 270,000 metric tons in the main ports hit historic high. Stimulated by the reduced production of Chinese sesame seed new crop. Since September, the stock in the main ports have fallen from the record high to the current about 170,000 metric tons this week. But it is still at the highest level for the same period of past year. But I think the stock will maintain downward trend before our Spring Festival, with less imports arriving and consumption season coming. Next, please. Maybe next. Yes, this is the main popular sesame products in China. The most traditional and largest sesame product is sesame seed oil. We also have hot sesame seed for the conventional and bakery industries, and also we have the sesame seed paste, roasted sesame seed powder, for Chinese, the noodles and hot pot and the salads and something like that. Next, please. Next page, please. Yeah, finally, let me give you a brief introduction of China's CFNA. Sorry. Return one page. Yes, CFNA is the largest specialized chamber of commerce in China, representing agriculture, forest, food, and farm industry, taking coordination, guidance, promotion, consultation, and service as its obligation. Next, please. CFNA every year has 2 sesame conferences in spring and autumn. You're welcome to attend it next spring. That's all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Yeah, I think that's an end for all our presenters, because I think our speaker from Brazil, Mr. Marcelo, is.
Sorry for what happened yesterday when I had some troubles to connect. Okay, I will share.
Would you want us to share the PPT? We will do that one.
Yes. One minute, please.
You are doing it, sir. We can do it also.
Yeah, one minute. I will share the the presentation.
No problem, sir. Mr. Marcelo, it is okay. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. First is an honor to represent Brazil in what has become the world's most important sesame event. Brazil has a diversified food production, but we need to learn a lot about production in special crop markets, such as sesame, for example. I will put next. Here you can see what happened during these last years, since 2014, when we started with a small quantity. Our participation in sesame export is quite recent. Only in 2019, we appeared the first time with some quantity more important. We all had a great expectation with the production of 2020, this year. With a large increase in planted area, we expected to be able to export a larger volume. What happened is that productivity has become very small. In some planted areas, they were totally lost. In others, the yield did not pass from 150 to 200 kilos per hectare. Next here. Why was productivity so low last year? Managing large areas of sesame proved to be a great challenge for us. High-tech producers don't know the secrets to good productivity. Weather wasn't favorable this last year, or this year, 2020. What was considered a great differential, harvesting with machines, proved disappointing. losses reached 40% of expected production. We learn, but it's not easy to learn, manage these sesame seeds in Brazil. And we believe in few time we can provide one more area or more technology and good quality. This is the target here. And in 2021, estimate area is, is 140,000 hectares. This is the previews now. We estimate this to the next year. The growers will see these around February, and we depend some situations here with the prices in corn. We have this competition with the sesame area to plant. The growers look at the prices in corn and decided when compare in some regions with the sesame seed. In 2020, we had the dollar was very, very favorable to us because the rates was good. The forecasts that the exchange will be unfavorable in 2021. The variety that we expected the growers will seed will be the most planted will be the tree. We have one very good new variety, the Anai, but is not so good in production. Until now, the researchers telling about they need some time to develop a better seed in this way, like Anai, to use not only in oil, but in other products around the world that the people use. Then our idea now is maybe we have less to offer to the market next year, around 57,000 tons, but it's early to promise this, and we need to wait more some days. I believe during January and February, we have one best idea about the area, okay? And we are ready to receive from all the people the asks about this. And this I told about, and this was some numbers that we have in Brazil, okay?
Thank you very much, Mr. Marcelo. Two quick questions, if I may ask so, from the previous sessions. One is that, what is the typical oil content in Brazil crop? That's first question. Second question is that the FFA is slightly on the higher side, is another observation. Would you like to respond to these two questions?
Until now, the specs when we offer to export, the oil is around 48%, but is normal when we have more than 48% in oil. Sometimes arriving in 52%, the percentile.
Okay.
And about the FA, until now, we check it and we continue around 2%, but is usually is less than 2%. We offer, we sell with the limit in 2%, but we check here before the shipment, in laboratory, and is very, very frequent that we have less than 2%, around 1%, 1.5%.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for taking time to join us and give an update about the Brazilian crop. Yesterday, we found the Indian buyers found the Brazilian crop very interesting and okay for process. So that's a very good news, and thanks for your presence and giving an update on the crop as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I can start with the question and answer session, and I'll go on the same.
One reason is the infrastructure. The road accessibility to the ports are very narrow, and even Sanjeev was mentioning this thing. It takes minimum 15 days for a truck to the truck has to wait 15 days in the road to just to get in the port. That much queue in the road. So you can imagine, what the infrastructure unfortunately we have in the country. They are building roads and all. Maybe once it's finished, there can be some changes. Otherwise, infrastructure is one of the key reasons it is taking so much time. And because of this infrastructure issues, the shipping lines are having massive issues. They cannot wait for a long time. So the vessel gets skipped. So these are the traditional issues which we already have. With the added new issue, what I was mentioning, that in the export procedure, there was a small change that all the exporters have to make some payment for the export cargo before they can do the payment later after the export. But they have made it mandatory; it has to be done before the shipment is happening. Due to that, all the cargo which is already inside the port are also asked to stop and finish the payments and other documentation process. So this was also delaying all the shipment from Nigeria. It's not only for Sesame, it's for every export commodities. So these are the current challenges which we're having. I don't think so.
On the same line as we starting with Nigeria. First question to Sebastian. Mr. Sebastian, are you there?
Yeah.
Can we see you, please? Can you switch on your video? Yeah. So Sebastian, first thing is everybody is worried about the port problem. I mean, what exactly is happening and why it is not being corrected? It's been years we are hearing, and it is getting worse every year. And the world is talking about it. They are not talking about sesame from Nigeria. Pehle port batao. How is the port situation?
We want the world to talk about Nigeria.
Yeah.
The port issues are there for many years due to different factors.
So can we say when the product starts from your factory to put it on the vessel, minimum 45 days is required?
It really depends on the situation, but you can easily say minimum 20 to 35 days normally it takes.
Okay, perfect. The next question is in terms of quantum of export. We are talking about hull sesame. What do you have a number of quantum of export of hull sesame out of Nigeria?
We don't have that number.
No. Any guesstimate that you can throw us?
Nigeria will be doing somewhere in the range of 25 to 30,000 tons as of now.
25, 30,000 tons. Okay, perfect. And you talked about last year, crop being 350,000 tons and probably this year close to 300,000 tons, right?
Right.
And I presume that most of it is exported.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only very few, 10,000-15,000 tons of carryover for this year.
Okay, even this year the carryover 10,000-15,000 only.
That's always there. People will have some stock in hand.
Okay, and in terms of quality, compared to previous year, what difference do you see this year?
Quality-wise, there is not much challenge. this year.
But we got some reviews that the whitish sesame is not available in good quantum, or the color is not good. Can you clarify that?
As I mentioned that, the one region where the cargo is affected by the floods, so that region you will find more white seeds. So that will impact the availability of some white seeds in the road. Otherwise, overall, it's okay, but the color will keep changing, year to year, depends on the rain and other things. So normally, many people are mentioning about the Bauchi type. The Bauchi type sees whiteness, maybe in comparison with the last year, maybe not as white as last year. That is true.
Perfect. Okay. I think that's about it, Sebastian. Thanks a lot. If anything else, I'll come back to you. Please stay tuned. Huh? Next question is for Mr. Alok.
Yes.
Alok, we would like to know, since I think you said, first of all, the quantum of export is or production is very similar to previous year.
Yes.
So in terms of quality also, there is no issues. They're absolutely fine.
No, quality, I said last year we have not seen whitish sesame too much. Too much in the sense we have not seen much quantity in that, probably less than 20,000 or something. But this year, till now, what we are seeing is a better quality. This is as compared to the last year, and better color.
Better color also.
Yeah.
And in terms of processing units coming in Burkina, be it for Sortex, I mean next level, that is for Sortex or for hulling. Do you see any future or any new investments being done?
No, we have seen a lot of people opting for Sortex machine there. As far as I know, more than 5 or 6 setups have Sortex machine there now. But hulling, I have not heard anything till now. I mean, not to my knowledge.
Okay, perfect. And this year, everybody is looking for white color sesame seed.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why we see the Burkina prices when opened at such high levels.
No, Sandeep, but though you have not asked this question to me, but I would like to place a comment on that. That in Nigeria, when in November, there was a feeling that when the crop was almost, it was looking like it was finishing, and that was the time more of mixed type was coming, and suddenly in the last 1 week, from some regions down there in Nigeria, we have seen the arrival of a whitish crop, which we can classify in a whitish level. So, there could be some availability from Nigeria as well, as far as the whitish is concerned. And when we talk about Burkina, I feel this year we will get the whitish from there. Even mixed type, which is coming right now, is not so mixed. The color is yellowish, but you can classify into mixed type because Chinese are taking it as a mix. But as far when you compare with the last year, still I feel the color is slightly better, even in mix.
Yeah, because we see year and year after that Chinese have started liking the Burkina seed only because of the color, the texture.
Because of the color.
The texture.
Color, texture, and of course oil percentage is good.
Yes,
and,
of course. When we are talking about whitish edible grade, they don't care about the oil.
They don't care about the oil. Yes.
Perfect. And Alok, a little bit, you are also doing a lot of Nigerian. I mean, this situation in Nigerian port, very short. Do you think coming this season, I mean, the next 6 months, it will improve or not?
No, Sandeep, the issue this year was more than the congestion or more than the road situation. This year there was some rule, there was some government change some procedure for export. And that was the reason why, some of the major line like Mast line or like CMS AGM, they skipped 4 vessels to load the cargo. And that has, resulted into delays, that has related into congestion. And even now, they have made a rule that unless all the papers are complete, your containers are not allowed to get in. So that is a very difficult position, because when the road is blocked, your 2 containers will be somewhere, your 5 containers will be somewhere, and another 5 will be somewhere. So it is not possible to have all the containers all together, plus all the papers to be get cleared from CBN and all those authorities which are involved in that. So it is taking time, but I feel Apapa situation remains like this for last 3 years, and it will remain like this for next few months at least. But in Port Harcourt, the position is slightly better as compared to the Apapa situation.
Thank you, Alok. I think that's about it. We'll go to Mr. Assefa. Ethiopian situation. We have a few questions for you. Number one, the recent conflicts in the northern part of Ethiopia. Does this affect harvest anywhere? I mean, in your country?
Yeah, sure. As everybody knows, we have some conflict in the northern part of the country.
Yes.
But the good thing is most of the system had been harvested before the conflict started. You remember the conflict started on November 3 or 4. So this time, almost all, in all parts of the country, I can say, system was harvested. The problem now is just transporting the harvested system to the secondary market, which is the community exchange market. Our government is working vigorously and working well to stabilize the area. This time, the Himora, the Shararo, and all the northern part, the sesame growing area, are stabilized, approaching to more stabilized. So the problem of transporting the system from the growing area to the community exchange will be solved, because the Ministry of Transportation, together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Defense, and other concerned security bodies are working to stabilize the area so that they can help farmers, so that they can bring to the community exchange to sell their product. And exporters who have already purchased and stocked the system in their warehouse, we are working with the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Federal Police, and assisting the exporters so that they can easily bring their commodity, their system products from Humora and other northern parts of the country to Addis Ababa or to the nearby town, which is Gondar. So that will be a little impact, but it's not will be as much significant.
Okay. Another question for you is, this year, when do you think the harvest will start in full swing from Ethiopia? And if you have seen the quality, general quality, how is it compared to a normal year?
Harvest is already started before a month. It started just before October, at the beginning of October.
Okay.
Sometimes at the third and fourth week of September. So harvest is started all over the country, but we cannot say that all sesame growing areas harvested is completed. But at the middle of October or the third week of October, you can say that harvest is completed. That's why our community exchange market is opened usually every year after October 23. That we get new crop after October 23.
So you mentioned there are a couple of hulling factories in Ethiopia. Number one, number two. Now the government in Ethiopia is giving incentive for importing machines for value addition. So what future of hulling industry or tahina industry do you see in Ethiopia? And can you tell us if, I think we lost him. We'll get back to him later. So we can start with Mr. Mahesh from Mast Qalander. Mr. Mahesh, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah. Now it's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. First question is, you mentioned that in 2019 the crop was about 80,000 tons, and then in 2020 it increased to 120,000 tons. I mean, if we see the prices you got in 2019 were not very high. So what was the reason for the farmers to grow so much of sesame?
Because actually the number one main factor is about the yield. Last year the yield was around like 480 kilogram, which is around like 12 month per acre, and the harvesting was around like 155-60,000 acres. This year's around 200,000 they harvest. Because of the rains in the month of August, which was the perfect time for the harvesting, and the rains, the crop yield was very good. We expected the crop this year to be around like 130 and 140,000, but because of rain, around 10 to 15% was a loss. And apart from that, the last year there was not much demand, but I believe international prices were quite high. Because of that, the prices were similarly high in Pakistan as well, but demand was less from different countries, as India was the main player in Pakistan, and last year there was no buying from India, and there was no FTA with Pakistan and China as well. Only small quantities were exported to Vietnam and Taiwan, Malaysia, and some Middle East countries. And this year the prices have increased because of good demand from China. If there would have been no buyers from China and there would have been no DFT with China, so I believe the market would have been same as per last year.
Okay. So I mean, you started the FTA, I think, in January this year.
January, yeah, it was signed in April 2019 and started from January 2020.
So is there a number that you can tell us, the export of sesame from Pakistan to China during the, last 6 months or?
In my presentation there were numbers in last even up till November. There's around like 17,000 tons export
to China.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
And we would also like to know how many hulling factories are presently working. In functional.
Actually, in Pakistan there are around 4 to 5 hulling units. Out of 5 or 6, 3 are based in Pakistan, and 2 or 3 are based in Punjab, which are based, they supply locally. And in Karachi, who are based, they export. They do supply locally as well, but they do export as well, depends on the market and demand.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. If there is any question, I'll get back to you. Stay tuned with us. Next is a question for Jay. Jay, one thing is our production in 2019 was say 240, 250, and this year we are talking about close to 300,000 tons. Yet people are talking we are short in crop. Our quantities are not enough. Can you throw some light? What?
Actually, what has happened this year is, in essence, we don't see a shortage right now. Overall, we still see an absolute crop which is higher than last year. The problem this year was that the system started at very low prices when the season began, and overall the whole trade was feeling that these prices are very attractive. So we saw a lot of low-level stocking, where we say farmers or small commission agents, small traders, say, who buy, in the range of 5 to 10 tons only. There was a lot of stocking at these levels. So that is why not a lot of crop actually came for trade. And that's why we are seeing right now an apparent shortage in the system seed supply within India. Also, this year the winter has been very good till now, so we have seen good domestic demand also. So these are the two factors why exporters and processors, exporters like us, we are seeing that supply is very, very limited. Available supply to us is very, very limited.
Okay. And because we were foreseeing a very good crop, our import numbers in the last 3 months, I think, has reduced drastically.
Yes, from till September, I would say that the import was very strong. But in October and November, I would not estimate total import to be more than 30,000 tons, maybe in the range of 25 to 30,000 tons only.
And for the next 3 months also, do you see these numbers increasing or?
Not too much, actually. Not a lot of sesame has been contracted to Indian ports till now, because there is, since the beginning, Africa started quoting very high prices, and at that time Indian supply was just starting. So not a lot of sesame was traded to Indian ports. I think there is some Brazilian sesame which is on the way, which will reach in December and January.
That was the next question. Some of the Brazilian suppliers would like to know. I mean, Indians have received the Brazilian sesame. So how is the output? How is the quality? I mean, are you
overall, we are happy. There's no major complaints. We are seeing some anomalies in terms of FFA. We are seeing some plus and minus, which is not there in other origins. But overall, if I am talking about an origin, yes, it's a suitable origin for Indians to buy.
And you know, as you know, our government used to give incentive while exports. I mean, there is questions that it may stop or it is going to stop.
Yeah, the government is very clear that it is going to stop on the 31st of December. And seeing that, you know, most exporters have not received anything for the last 9 months from April this year, I think it would be foolish on our part to think that they will continue. The government is very clear. They want production-linked incentives, which are WTO compliant and not something like the scheme that we currently have.
Yeah, and again, one question everybody is asking is halt to European Union. What is going on? I mean, one thing we are very happy with that this time India has put the foot down, stopped it, wants to get the things cleaned up, solve things, and then restart. That is a very good thing our export council has done.
Yeah, actually, I think it was a very proactive step, because the council was very clear that we don't want rejections, and none of the Indian exporters, even you know, all when we had the meeting, all the exporters were of the favor that we want clarity, and yes, there is short-term pain right now. We are not able to export and all that, but it is still better than shipping cargo and then facing rejections. So I think clarity on those lines was there since the beginning of the issue. And I think the steps that the council has taken have been very proactive. And also, it is very important for every exporting origin. You know, this is not just an India problem. That's what I want to highlight. Every origin which is processing sesame and shipping to the EU, they must be very clear on what European guidelines are, how they are being tested, what is the method of sampling.
But then, if sorry to interrupt, but then
sure.
all hull sesame would be tested for ethylene oxide going to Europe, be it any origin.
I think right now it is only for India, but what I know and what I heard from the trade is there was also a recent rejection from a shipment which originated from Burkina Faso. So the buyers are very, very hesitant. And right now, at the end of the buyer, I think even if the authority is not mandated, they are checking every sesame seed sample that is coming to them, irrespective of the origin. Also, I have heard that there have been, you know, minor results also coming from other African origins, minor residues coming from these other origins as well. So everybody who is exporting to the EU, they must be careful. They must be aware of the laws and, you know, ship compliant cargo. I think
I mean, it's not mandatory for. I mean, the port authorities may not check it, but the buyers will definitely check it.
Yes, the buyers will definitely check it. That is for sure, because they are also very scared right now.
Correct. And I think that's about it, Jay. If there is something, I'll get back to you.
Sure.
Next, we'll have a question for Jahid. Yeah, Jahid is here. Jahid, you talked about the export figures of 2020 being around 80 to 90,000 tons. Can you throw a light on the export figure for 2019 as well from Mozambique?
The last year, hello, Sandeep bhai.
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. Last year crop, exactly, I don't have the sheet of the last year crops, but it was approximately 75,000 tons. It was, we was estimating near about 65,000 tons. And this year we was estimating it was the same 75 to 80,000 tons, but surprisingly we got more than 10,000 tons. We seen
Extra.
it is extras, and that extras, as per my view, it is because of some border areas. It was increased in the production. Border areas means near between Mozambique and Malawi borders. There is some area. That area has produced some beyond our expectation. So that's about 10,000, 12,000 tons added by that areas. And some north areas, we was expecting the poor crop. It was poor, but still they given us some seeds from there.
Okay. And you mentioned that Mozambique shipped almost 6,000 to 8,000 tons of sesame to India. Any feedbacks from the Indian buyers who bought the cargo? Can you share?
For my personal view, from my all exports, my all buyer was really happy, and I got good comments from them. Same way, even for other shippers, I did not heard any complaint from them.
Okay. And you also mentioned
one thing I noticed, still we was doubtful that Mozambican sesame is useful for, it will be used in the hulling or not. For our level, we was really confused. But once the cargo reached, we got good feedback from some huller also. So they said they are satisfied.
They're satisfied. Perfect. And you also mentioned one thing which is very interesting, that Mozambique and Tanzania South sesame selling at the same price. What could be the reason for that? I mean, it's something very strange and interesting.
Honestly, it was one surprising thing this year came out. When we was quoting the price from Mozambique, when the time of the downfall, when the price was coming down, at the times when we were quoting the price Mozambique, the same time buyer was complaining that you are higher and Tanzanian South are cheaper, or you are in the compare of the same South Tanzanian price. But still on that complaint, buyer was buying from Mozambique. So we can note that there was something. Definitely, it's I don't know what happened, but many trade has happened.
Okay, one interesting thing also, your pricing index. 2019 between 1500, starting at 15 to 1550, and 2020 starting at 1200 to 1250. It's a downfall of 20%. And still we see the production is almost the same, in fact, has increased. So would you also comment on the next harvest is going to be the same? Because we have seen a low price of 950 levels also.
One thing from experience in Mozambique and other African areas, I noted one thing, the African farmers or other African farmers, they don't follow the international markets. Actually, what they do, their previous year experience, they do sowing. For example, if they got the lot good price in 2019, next year they are going to sow the lot of sesame.
Okay.
So this year from Mozambique, many of the farmer was disappointed because in the beginning the local price was very high, and when the downfall came in the middle of the season, the farmer they did not receive a good price. Even I have seen many farmer was crying because it was really a big fall for farmers. They was expecting, but they did not get that price.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
If these things will happen, then next year, 2020, sesame production will be less than this year's.
Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to know. I mean,
beside everything, we have to keep one thing in our mind. Africa, whatever sowing figure or whatever intention figure, it's a different things. Mainly the weather, we have to depend on weather, how the weather will support.
Perfect. Thank you, Zahid. Sorry, I have to cut you. I just have the last speaker. Sorry about that.
Fine.
We got the point that there is a possibility for a decrease in crop in Mozambique coming season. Thank you, Zahid. We have Miss He Qin from China. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah. You mentioned almost 900,000 import in 2020 under this COVID situation. I mean, what is going on in China? People started eating more because of some reason.
You want to know why we still import?
I mean, more. It's not a normal situation. Yes.
Yes, it is really good question. Yes, yeah, it is true. Yeah, really, this year we have a hard time, but still we import it and so huge. And the end of this year, just now mentioned, I'm sure more than 1 million, maybe 1.5 million metric tons will be imported. It is almost more than 100,000 metric tons and imported more than 2016. I think the reason is that one of the main reasons is the price. All the people, I think you are very experienced. When the price, there is a so huge gap and between the seasons, the countries, and the people prefer to keep buying the cheaper ones then.
Yep,
because
we see the
monetary flow is very abundant here. It is one of the reasons. The other reason is because of the cheaper price coming out and after lockdown lifted in China, first half of this year, and many people was astonished by the opening so quickly. So manufacturing recovered. So they have to keep as much as they can. At that time, the price is very cheap. Also influenced by the bad news of Chinese production, Chinese sesame seeds. Was a little worried about the future, the supply. So I think at that time, people keep purchasing. And meanwhile, at that time, because of the situation became worse in the African countries, especially Sudan. And also the Sudan, I heard that some of the contracts defaulted from the other countries, and because the other countries, at that time situation is very, very bad. They cannot receive so many cargoes as Europe. So Sudanese have to swift the cargo from other countries to China.
Okay. And one quick question. One more quick question. We see the prices of peanut in the range of 1150 to 1250 from India, Africa, all the regions. So and the sesame prices between 1250 to 1350. So the price gap is very, very small. So this could be another reason you may see next 3-4 months the consumption keep increasing.
No. So short time, I don't think they have the connection each other.
Okay.
No, this reason.
No, not this reason.
No, there's no. Also, the steel we imported so much, and also we have a huge stock, and also stock hit historic high.
Okay. And one thing.
I don't think we can consume so much, but many reasons mixed together.
Okay. And when you when you import peanut and you export peanut, blanched peanut or peanut kernel, there is an export incentive. I wanted to know if you import natural sesame and export hull sesame, do you get any export incentive from your government?
You mean how the sesame?
Yes, yes.
It is, I don't know, can repeat it and...
I mean, when you export hull sesame from China to any country, do you get any tax back or incentive from your government?
Yes, yes.
What is the percentage of it?
Now is, I don't know exactly, maybe the tax is 10, then return tax, something like that.
Yeah, return tax is okay, but you also get some incentive. That's what we wanted to know for export. Like peanut also, when you export after blanching.
The same, the same. All the culture the same. When the charge the tax when you collecting, when you exporting, the return the same percentage as you are charged.
So okay, fair enough.
Change the same as the sesame. Yeah.
Same as sesame. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Chin. One last question. I mean, somebody can comment. Even Tarun can come in. Prakash can come in. We haven't had a answer from you. Speak a little bit about the smaller origins in the African. Cameroon is there. Somalia is there. Can anyone throw some light? One line, just idea about the crop there, situation there. Anyone?
Oh, Mr. Moderator. Hello.
Yes.
Because of bad connection, I was disconnected. If there is any question which was not well addressed, I'm here again to explain.
I think we got everything. I think we got everything from you, sir. I think the last question I was asking you was about the value addition. Since the government is giving you incentivized import of machineries, do you think more and more factories will come into
Hopefully,
Ethiopia?
yeah. There are some 2-3 companies under construction, and there are a lot of projects which are under visibility study. So hopefully, more company will come to value addition. But the new incentive that issued by the government is not for value addition only. It's for agricultural machineries.
Okay.
For agricultural machinery. So commercialization and mechanizing farming in Sesame will appear soon.
Thank you, Mr. Assefa. Anyone on Cameroon or any other origins? One line on that. Tarun, Jahid Bhai, Prakash, Alok. Any comments? Or I think we call it a day for this question and answer session. I think we are done. I think no comments on those. So Srivastava, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sandeep. It was indeed a very...
Yes, 1 minute, please. Jahid bhai, fast thoda, boli.
Sandeep bhai, I would like to ask something. Maybe Alok bhai or some more can give some light. Alok bhai, actually the Sudans are very confusing situation now. The local price are higher, and the international price is a bit lower than in compare of the local price. So can you explain what is the real scenarios for that one? Because from shipper sides, processor side, we are really confused for that one.
Okay, Jahid bhai, actually what is happening in the market is, the East African product is, it was sold very low prices, below 1,000 or around 1,000, I would say. And then there was the impact of Nigeria, because after once your Mozambique cargo finishes, the next country in line was Nigeria. I'm not taking Brazil into consideration because Brazil cannot go to Haipong, it cannot go to China. It's blocked there. So Brazil was left with an option of either Turkey or India. So we are keeping Brazil out in between the season. Now, when the season is started and because of the COVID situation, a lot of delays happened from West Africa side. And especially when it reaches to China, China was having a stock of 200,000 tons because they didn't. From March to September, there was not much consumption. Consumption was happening, but it was not much. Till the time restaurant was open, till the time schools were open, till the time the public places were open. And suddenly, because when the public places started opening, suddenly there was an increase in the lifting of the cargo. That cargo plus Nigeria, every
Alok,
exporter.
Yeah,
I'm just getting in one. Okay, no problem. Okay, I will just cut short. Then because of this. Otherwise, Jahid, I will just call you and discuss this.
It's fine. I just if somebody is from Sudan, it can explain. That's really not from my sides. Many of Sudan exporter from Sudan are confused, and honestly, the Sudanese exporter, as I'm also a local processor. Most of the processors, they are getting the cargo price higher than the international market. So this is not question from my side. The many people are same confused. So if somebody proper from Sudan or somebody from China, if can assist on that.
We'll try to bring in Sudan, someone maybe later sometime. Srivastavaji, please try that. So I would put an end to this session as the as we are waiting for the vaccine to come. It's still indecisive. So is the industry, sesame industry, in the same flux as the injection that we are going to be injected soon or tomorrow, day after, 1 year. I don't know. That's about it. Thanks a lot. Over to Srivastava.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sandeep. It was really a very, very enriching session. Thank you to all the panelists, starting with Mr. Sebastian Andrew, Mr. Alok Bhargava, Mr. Assefa Yohannes, Mr. Mahesh Raja Manglani, Mr. Jay Chandarana, Mr. Jahid Nagarwala, and Ms. Hashin. Thank you all, and thank you for excellent moderation and managing the time so well, and probing each of the speakers to bring out their best. To Mr. Sandeep Bhura, Home India Trading. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's an amazing thing.
Meeting you very soon in physical. Thank you so much for the session.
Thank you.
You all.